this game ends up going the distance here, simply because... Welcome to Expedition Lost. It's the second map of our best of 9, and spawning in the bottom left-hand position as the red Protoss player. He plays for Team Alternate, and showing us some pretty slick moves in WCS. Can he translate it to a win here? It's showtime. His opponent spawning in the top right-hand position, representing Team Liquid.net. Some call him the King in the North, and he has now won 4 hot seat best of 9s. Can he make it 5 in a row tonight? Ladies and gents, he's certainly going to give it a go. It's Liquid Bunny. So Bunny starting off the series, I want to say with some uncharacteristic aggression there. That's the first time I've ever seen Bunny go for a proxy on the hot seat, and he's played a number of series here. So he's perhaps feeling quite confident today, perhaps deciding that actually this week is going to be the week to mix it up. He needs to do that against ShoWTimE, who can traditionally be a more unpredictable opponent. So maybe that's something that Bunny had planned. We'll see if the trend continues. So far it is, because we have the gas first, by the way, before barracks. So once this barracks completes, he will have 100 gas available for an instantaneous factory here. Generally regarded as a much more aggressive, very versatile in terms of attacking options kind of opening coming out here from Liquid Bunny. ShoWTimE is going to be able to scout this. We'll see that the gas is now done and has been mining for a while as well. So that's pretty important to note. Now, gateway down, cybernetics core down for ShoWTimE. Relatively straightforward cookie cutter at the moment as far as things stand for our Protoss hero. And, well, we can see the instant factory coming out from Bunny there. This probe just kind of wanting to get a confirmation that that is indeed what's going on. So he might be expecting something like Widow Mine drops now, for example. With that earlier gas, and he's just going to be consistently checking in as long as he can, but unfortunately the first Marines are going to be popping out soon and will make life very, very difficult for him indeed. So looks like this probe is chasing the SCV here as he moves out across the map next to the Tastelo. And Bunny at the moment has no idea what's going on in ShoWTimE space. So it's going to be useful to come up here and scout that at least the Nexus is at the natural expansion. He's not about to get crazy all-in off one base or anything like that. The Mothership core is also done as well. It was only moments away, which is the reason Bunny elected not to put his SCV into danger by trying to scout out that main base. He didn't feel like he would gain too much from it. And now we have the natural expansion going down on the low ground for Bunny here. And right now, we're not going into an immediate starport. You've got the reactor and Widow Mines coming out of the factory before another supply depot comes down. So Bunny, at the moment, opting instead to just focus on pumping out those units and keeping his supply as close to its current maximum as we can. ShoWTimE, in the meanwhile, he's gotten both of his gas. He's got 3 workers in each. His expansion is now done as well, albeit slightly later than our Terran players. And well, we'll see. Oh, pardon me, slightly earlier than our Terran players. For example, I actually thought that was going to be a third CC from Bunny. I'm so used to seeing those from him, but this is just the natural. So I do beg your pardon there. So that reactor and more units coming out. We have the starport now on its way as well. And a good number of units, actually, to potentially defend this ramp. We have Widow Mines on the way. 5 Marines is a solid number, especially when you've got the positioning you have on the top of a ramp where it becomes a little bit more difficult for any opponent to challenge. Now, back at home, we have the robotics facility almost completing now for ShoWTimE. So we could be seeing an opening almost identical last game. Are we going to see an instant observer? We are indeed. So he is going to be a little more wary as well of Bunny after noticing those non-stop drops in that last game, which really did so much damage to ShoWTimE's economy. And I wouldn't be surprised if the first couple of observers, I think, go here, potentially here, and definitely down here, so that he can spot potential drop ships that are here to destroy him basically a mile away. That's really what the job is going to be right now. And we do, in fact, have another observer coming out on the field. In the meantime, Bunny's doing what he did last game. You can see the Marine just on a really, really nice scouting path, constantly checking out if there are any pylons hidden anywhere on the map. Not just for proxies, but also just to make sure there are no extra warp-in points that our Terran player hasn't been informed about. So that's cool. We've got a second and third barracks on the way. TVP mech, TVP mech. I hear somebody yell. Wouldn't mind seeing it, but not on this occasion, I'm afraid. And we're going up to 3 gases, by the way, from Bunny. He's only not taking one of the gases at his natural at present. You can see that over here. Still continuing to keep an eye on that bunker, leaving a unit inside it at all times. And we have a drop that appears to have gone rather wrong here. Number of workers killed. Oh my god! It went rather wrong, but then it went rather right, ladies and gents. You saw that number jump from 2 to 12. That was an excellent hit by the Widow Mine, and ShoWTimE just pulled a fraction of a second too late to get those probes out of range. A slight miscalculation from our Protoss player, and he went 10 additional workers down. That is not a good sign at all. And he's now behind on workers, 41 to 38. And economically, it looks like he's going to have a really difficult time getting back into this game now because of those mules that are coming forward. We have another double drop with a Widow Mine or 2 coming into the natural expansion. The army has gone now, by the way. So we instant photon overcharge at the Nexus. We appear to have a situation where the medevac is almost dead, but not quite. And we're going to see the photon overcharge again, are we? No, he's decided against it for now. Sacrificing a single probe in the meantime. And this medevac is getting very, very low. He's trying to attempt a photon overcharge, but I don't think it's going to be successful. Manages to pick up the mine and fly away. Really good harassment from Bunny. And the number of workers killed increasing now to 14 versus 0. There's an observer smack bang, by the way, in the middle of Bunny's base. So ShoWTimE will be able to see what's going on at all times, and there we go. He will potentially spot that Bunny does not have a third base. And I think that's going to be critical information right now. But ShoWTimE is going to be feeling pretty poorly after losing that many workers, but he's also going to be happy that he hasn't seen a third base yet. Although that said, the command center on the low ground has literally just gone down, and this observer is going over to check it out. So this might be ShoWTimE's opportunity here to try and get a couple more units together, get a sizable army, and see if he can trade effectively against the Team Liquid Terran. He doesn't want to end up in the same position as last game, where a drop, once Bunny went for the third base, more or less left it on 3 versus 1 as far as bases were concerned for quite a while in that game. And off the back of trading as efficiently as he can, but continuing to trade with his opponent, Bunny was able to eventually overpower ShoWTimE and win game number 1. We'll see if ShoWTimE can have revenge here. And a number of units moving out past the gold mineral patches. I always think this little bit of the map reminds me of Xel'Naga Caverns. You got the gold and then sort of like the big hole here. I don't know if you guys can see it. But, oh, man, that map was so broken. It was fantastic. I loved it, says the Siege Tank Marine player. Now, ShoWTimE will be able to spot that there is, in fact, a little bit of a disturbance next to this debris here. He's currently being a little bit distracted out in the middle of the map, though. He really needs to click and see this. Has he actually seen it? He's still continuing to rally his units outside, and this could be bad. And here we go. He's going to be able to snipe this Nexus potentially. He's going for the Robo by the looks of things. The Robo goes down. There is nothing at all our Protoss player could have done about that. And stimming, pretending to run, trying to pick off the delicious, delicious, juicy underbelly of all of those Stalkers there. And a simultaneous double drop into the natural expansion is occurring as well. Oh, fantastic. Widow Mine hits. Takes the workers killed count to 19. And he gets away with both medevacs as well. And, oh, I mean, blink or no blink, that was just beautifully executed from Bunny there. Really showing that he is the aggressor in this particular series, and currently poised to go 2-0 up, but are we speaking too soon? He's got a 30 supply advantage. He's also got a 15 worker advantage. Well, if you want my honest opinion, and we're not really speaking too soon, but it ain't over till it's over. And as we all know, Colossi can do devastating amounts of damage. So ShoWTimE might be able to mount a bit of a counterattack here. It looks like he's going to be going via this watchtower. It won't quite see this army over here, which appears to be moving out in defense mode right now. Let's take a look at what Bunny sees. Okay, so he has a pretty good hunch, by the way, that he has to defend his third right now. Good scouting from that Marine. Nice scan, spots absolutely everything inside that army, and he has to now decide if he wants to engage. Now, we need to see such a good engagement for the Colossi here, and I really don't know how that's going to work out for him. ShoWTimE just has to be so patient, doing a lot of good damage. One of the Vikings instantly getting picked up. There are still 3 more, but there are 3 more versus 3 Colossi as well. Continued warpins coming in from our Protoss player. We just need to keep defending over here from Bunny's point of view, but the Marauders are slowly getting picked up by the Stalkers. None of the Colossi have been downed yet. Just really, really good play. Very patient play coming out from ShoWTimE. More Stalkers joining the fray. That's an awful lot, by the way, of DPS, and it looks like, okay, the Orbital Command's going to go down, but will it be at the expense of a lot of the army? No, because what an excellent number of force fields, allowing the Protoss to kill off the SCVs before dealing with the rest of the base. And all of a sudden now ShoWTimE is in a glorious position. He's at 116 versus 116 supply, so it's evened up. He's managed to kill off, not force a lift, but kill off the third base of Liquid Bunny. And he's now camped out outside the natural. So happy days for our Protoss player here. He can just poke and prod. He has to be very careful for the Vikings, though. He needs to step back and just wait. Good blink forward, like it's a good idea, even though he lost a Stalker there, I believe. Just to try and see if he can catch some of the Vikings off guard. Wasn't able to on that occasion, but I like the idea. And this is a really difficult position for Bunny, because he should be able to load up a drop, but he can only load up maybe 1 medevac right now. 2 would be pushing it a little because of the size and the potential scope of how much firepower this Protoss army has. There's the third base, ladies and gents, back at home, so there you go. And now ShoWTimE is going to be joining being the one with the economic lead, deciding whether or not he actually wants to be dealing with this Terran player at the time and place of his choosing. And right now, small numbers of units going out trying to pick off sentries, but the double force field off at this ramp is just so strong. We have a scan here to try and work out exactly what the forces rather look like. And Bunny's just wondering, can I actually bust down this ramp? And I think he's being a little bit apprehensive at the moment. He can't quite justify doing it. A Stalker goes down, a Marauder goes down, a new clump of units moves out on to the natural expansion, and it looks like Bunny is interested in doing this sooner rather than later. The Vikings are moving forward, trying to snipe off a couple of the Colossi. One of them is going to go down, falls into that ravine there. And this number of Stalkers isn't enough to contain this army unless we have great force fields. And unfortunately, our Terran player is breaking past the force fields now. So Bunny is going to go into full-on attack mode. And it looks like ShoWTimE will be able to force field and move back. But Bunny is not taking no for an answer. He's going to continue to rush down this corridor here in the hopes of meeting more of the army. He's going to be able to as well. 2 Colossi. They are so critical to this army, and both of them, I feel, are going to go down right now. The Vikings have captured them. How many Colossi are left? Oh, I got news, guys. 0. We have High Templars, and we at least have... Do we have Storm? We do have Storm, but we need a bit of energy. And, oh, this is such a tricky situation to be in now. ShoWTimE transitioning completely to Storm. At least he's making the Vikings look a little bit silly. That was a really sick Storm number 1, but he needs to follow it up with Storms number 2, 3, and 4 if he wants to beat this army back and also protect his third base. And here we go. Guardian shields up. Zealots charging in, trying to kill off this bio. Still no signs of additional Storms. Just that first one that was fired as a warning shot. And Bunny might be able to perform the wraparound. As a result, there isn't too much DPS on it at the moment. There's the Storm. Is it too little too late? We have 2 Archons morphing in now. Out of energy for those Psionic Storms, so we're going to see some beefier units on the battlefield in just a moment. But these Marauders are doing really good work against the Protoss army. Both sides trading an awful lot right now. And this Zealot Archon is now starting to clean it up. A good on-the-fly change there from the looks of things from ShoWTimE, and this will be able to beat back the predominant Marauder army. Supplies currently 89 to 87, guys. Really close. This third base has not been cancelled. The number of workers killed remains at 19, and there's been 18 worker kills now as well for ShoWTimE. So both sides at it right now, and really at each other's throats. Very low econ game. trying to snipe off a couple of High Templars, unable to do so. The Archons trying to chase them back. Are we going to see a Storm against this clump of units? One Storm might actually be worth it, depending on how many he gets, but it looks like our Protoss player is not going to be crunching for it right now. More Zealots and Stalkers warping from the left-hand side. That's going to help a lot, and really, we need to make sure, as the units are running away here, that ShoWTimE is able to think of a way to deal with the Medivacs, because really, they're the long-term unit that he wants to avoid in all of these engagements. Great feedbacks, and a good Storm to follow up. Kills off both those Medivacs, exactly what ShoWTimE was looking for, although at the expense of those units on this right-hand side. And it's 89 versus 98 supply in favor of ShoWTimE. Now, will he be able to come back and level this series at 1 apiece? More pylons going down now. And, well, there's loads going down on the left-hand side of the map and very, very close to the third base location, which looks like it's going to go to again. It's actually the natural expansion that's floating over there, so that's useful information, actually, from our Protoss player. He'll know that Bunny is hurting a little bit for minerals. He's actually taken this base over to the 2 o'clock position as well, and I want to say I don't think ShoWTimE has spotted that. He hasn't, but he will be able to go straight into the Old Natural and see what this is all about. Zealot's so strong, but a lot of Marine and Marauder, and with Medivac support as well, I don't think the Zealots will be able to get anywhere close to dealing with the buildings. I'm afraid the units will eventually mop them up thanks to Stim and the concussive shell effect. Back on the other side of the map, we have a drop here. It looks like a triple drop, but not with too many units. Has been foiled in the bottom right-hand side as well. Just Zealots after them, and we have a simultaneous attack at this third base, if you will, where Bunny this time is going to be able to get away with the orbital command. So at least that's something, but the SCVs are now being targeted. There is no way for Bunny to defend this. Simultaneous aggression coming in, and ooh, nice carousel kind of effect on the probes there. A lot of them going down, and both sides really trading quite aggressively here. It's 59 supply versus 127 though, and even though they're trading, I think Bunny just has less on the ground economically to be able to resupply. So it looks like he's doing damage, and these are mainly just probes, but the supply difference is just too large. It's 129 to 45, guys. And unfortunately, 0 SCVs now after transferring from the main to the third base and basically losing them all when these lifted will be the nail in the coffin, I suspect, for Bunny. He has to win the game with this army right now, and there's just way too much on the field from ShoWTimE. All he has to do is come back and defend, and he has economy, and Bunny does not. Well, I say does not. He's got mules, guys. Mules will be fine. He's got 2 mules, in fact. But I don't think even 2 mules is enough to win our Terran player of the game right now. More Archons in the mix here. I'm a little bit surprised we don't have more defense coming down here, but I guess ShoWTimE believes it's fine. He's pulling probes now as well as his army starts going to work inside the main base. That's an awful lot of really nice clumped up high DPS bio, and oh my god, that Storm was also amazing, and that is going to be that. That is so much damage done, and we're down to 20 supply now. This drop all of a sudden is literally all that's left. Guys, I'm going to count it for you. It's 3 Marauders and 6 Medivacs. That's 2 Medivacs per Marauder. They are the highest paid Marauders in the world right now. But living their life of luxury, they have been disconnected from the peasant population. There will be revolt. Infrastructure is being destroyed. Buildings refuse to produce units. General anarchy ensues, and an overthrow of government happens in the Terran base. Ladies and gents, ATN ShoWTimE, Team Alternate, wins map number 2 and ties up the series 1 apiece.